most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and with me, as always, is the co-host with the most, Jive Turkey Nano. How we doing, brother?
Let's go. Doing great, brother. It is Thursday, a.k.a. Friday Junior. We got a trip to Salt Lake City, Utah. We're going to some elevation, and just like the elevation, it is rising, and just like this card is, man, and just like something in my pants, I am very excited to be here. Can't wait to dive on in with you, brother. Let's go.
To dive on in or to jive on in?
We chugging, we jiving, we doing all about everything. And don't forget, we are living as well. Come on, baby.
Let's go, baby. So if you're new here, if you're old, anywhere in between, make sure you do the thing that we always ask you to do if you're on YouTube or any other podcast site. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. And make sure you smash that bell for notifications, folks. We really, really appreciate it. And now, without further ado, we are here to talk about, as Nano said, UFC Salt Lake City, or otherwise known as its more popular name, UFC 307. Alex Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. This is going to be an absolute banger of a card, in my humble opinion. I am extremely excited about it. Nano, your mic volume was insanely loud. Scared the shit out of me. That's it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. I'll make sure to stay back here. Appreciate it. Good to see you, brother. Let us know how crazy I sound. Let us know if you're out there, if you're listening, how excited you are for this card. Rank it 1 through 10. Drop an emoji. Do what you got to do. And again, maybe I'll talk with my inside voice here. Again, I get so excited. Man.
No. Get excited. Get excited. Use your outside voice, brother. So we are going to jump on into this fight card from the very bottom, folks. So starting at the very bottom of this fight card, we have Aljamain Sterling versus Movsar Evloev that was canceled. That's right. Kind of blue balled you guys a little bit there. We're all bummed about that fight. Everybody was obviously excited to see it, but it got pushed back. It is what it is. Aljamain got injured. We saw the video. It's a real thing. It really happened. You can Google it. So moving into the actual first fight, we got Court McGee coming in against Tim, the Dirty Bird Means. This is a fight between two aging legends. It should be a banger, should be a little bit of a grappling back and forth as well. Court the Crusher McGee, no slouch when it comes to the grappling realm. He's also no slouch when it comes to the striking realm. We've seen him be maybe more willing than he should be to stand in the pocket and trade with people that are really good strikers. And we've seen it pay dividends in the past, and we've seen it cost him significantly in the past. I'm looking at that right hook from Matt Brown, that right hook from hell. Looking at that left hook from hell from Jeremiah Wells. But again, we've also seen him go out there and land big shots. Just as many times as he's been knocked out, he's gotten a knockout win. Standing across from him, however, is Tim the Dirty Bird Means. The guy is, every bit of the nickname, right? He is a dirty bird. He goes out there. If I had to use one word to describe Tim the Dirty Bird Means, I would probably describe him as wily, right? Like he's the wily coyote of the bunch in the UFC. He's the guy that will try all these old tricks, and even if he goes to Acme 1,000 times and gets faulty shit, he's going to keep going back and keep trying until he fucking dies. He's just a dirty bird, and that's what he does. Now, I like Court McGee. I really, really do. And there's a big part of me that does think he can win this. but I'm siding with Tim, the Dirty Bird Means. I just think he has more tools in the toolbox, so to speak. The grappling is definitely going to be on his side overall, and more so the submission threat. I think if Court McGee actually tries to threaten him with takedowns, it's going to open up the realm of submissions more for somebody like a Tim, the Dirty Bird Means. Shout out S-Dogs MMA Talk. Welcome to the channel for the first time, brother, and happy belated birthday. We'll pour up a shot to you after this this first fight breakdown. Nano.
Happy birthday. Salute, dog.
Who you got, brother? Who you got in this fight? You got the Dirty Bird or you got the Crusher?
Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm going with the Dirty Bird. The Dirty Bird is the word here from your boy, the Jive Turkey. Maybe
Birds
because he's
flock together.
I was gonna say maybe because he's a fellow bird. I think a turkey is considered a bird here, at least a bird that does not fly. But you know, I'd be chucking and jiving these wings. But yeah, man. I mean, just to reiterate, we got a battle of two savvy veterans, of two legends, two OGs, we'll call them, because they are 39 and 40 years old, respectively here. But Court McGee, fighting in his backyard. He is a Utah native. He is familiar with the elevation. And that is something to keep in mind here, ladies and gentlemen. Are people prepared? Are they in a place that is in elevation? Because those are things that, as the fight goes on, it may or may not hurt you. So, Court McGee, it's in his backyard. He's used to this, but he is on a 3-fight losing streak, and he's going up against the Dirty Bird, who's just a bad man. Now, unfortunately, the Dirty Bird has fallen on tough times. Is waiting for the winter season to roll through here. It's been a bit cloudy for him. 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Not ideal. Frankly, neither of these guys are trending in the right direction. However, I'm going with the Ben favorite and Dirty Bird, Tim Means. I just think he has more tools in the toolbox. I do think that his 20 KOs, 5 submissions, that's 25 out of 33 of his wins. He tends to get it done when he needs to. And no home court advantage here for our guy, Court McGee. I think regardless of the elevation, birds flock and they fly high. So I'm going with the Dirty Bird, Tim Means on this one. Let's go, baby. We're in agreement to set the tone. We're in agreement now. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad one. We'll find out.
Doesn't happen very often, but I love it when it does. And I got to tell you, I love that you did your homework. I love that you looked up where the Crusher is from. He is fighting out of Utah, which you would think gives him the elevation advantage. However, I'm here to break down some facts for you, brother. Albuquerque, New Mexico, average elevation is 5,312 feet. Orem, Utah, 4,774. So our guy, the Dirty Bird, flies high, baby. He's actually training at a higher altitude, even in New Mexico and out in Albuquerque. So the only advantage that we thought Court had, I mean, take away the home court advantage. Pun intended there, folks. And we move into the next one, steamrolling right on through here. No pun intended. Sorry, steamroller. God, what a loss. Carla, the Cookie Monster Esparza, coming in against Tiny Tisha, the Tornado Pennington. I'm still not used to calling her Tisha Pennington. It's Tisha Torres. Tiny Tisha, the Tornado Torres. Tisha Pennington, I'll let you take the lead on this one, brother. I definitely have a favorite in this fight, and I do think I'll be betting on it. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts here, brother. Tell us what the Dirty Bird of our podcast here thinks.
I like it, brother. And I'm going with the Cookie Monster, the Dirty Bird here, the fellow bird. Oh, before I dive in here, the S-Dog.
Oh, we actually have to do a shot for this guy's birthday, bro.
Yeah, let's pull it up real quick. I'll do both the things he listed there in his comment for you adults that are able to go back and read it. Shout out my dog. Shout out to the Dirty Bird, one of the best nicknames in the game by far. I think we don't give the nicknames enough credit. So when we come across them, we go acknowledge it, give credit where it's due. And happy birthday, however old you are. You know, if it's 21, hopefully you get the adult beverages here. If not, stay hydrated, get your Kool-Aid, get your Gatorade, get your Powerade, whatever's covered, baby. Get that aid. Cheers to new friends, to old friends, and to Violent Saturdays, baby. Let's go.
Right. Whether it's whiskey, water, or Powerade, pick up your glass and drink it Nowerade, folks. Cheers.
Hey, cool. Yeah, man. I'm excited for this one. The Bird is going with the Cookie Crumbler here in Carla Esparza. I just think that...
Oh, yeah. You drink that sparkling water, Tico Tech. Let's get it.
Let's go. That's my favorite. Whether it's LaCroix, Bubbly, whatever your brand is. I'm a limoncello guy myself, pamplemousse, but anything works. Yeah, man, I do think that Carla Esparza is going to find a way to get it done. It's her retirement fight. Mama Esparza is going in and going off against her fellow foe from the Ultimate Fighter way back when. She did fight her back then. Had a great career, Carla Esparza did. Tisha Torres, the Tornado, a.k.a. Tisha Pennington now, also had a great career. But, man, I do think when I'm looking at Carla's resume, frankly, the only blemish on her career is that she lost to one of the baddest women on planet Earth and probably any other planet in our solar system, and that's Wei Li Zhang. Other than that, she was undefeated since 2018, right? So Carla's legit, and she's betting underdog here. You're getting Carla Esparza, the Cookie Monster, at plus 150 odds. I'm eating that all day. Yum, 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 yum. So give me Carla. I think her wrestling game is going to prove to be the difference here. She's motivated. Yes, she's a mom, and you can maybe look at that as a negative factor, but the reality is Tisha is a mom as well. They both had babies around the same time. They both are going to have that equal mom power, which is going to cancel each other out. Both coming off losses, both in the sunset of their career. But I'm going with my girl who was the champ, who has proven to me to be the well-rounded mixed martial artist. So getting her at plus odds here. I'm going the underdog. Curious to hear what Tico thinks, what our new S-Dog thinks here in the chat as well, or any of you fellow dogs or cats in the chat. Let us know what you think. But I'm going with the Cookie Monster here. Lay it on me, brother. Am I talking crazy?
Come on, don't be crazy.
No, I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't think you're being crazy at all. I think you're being very honest. Tico Tech said in the chat he thinks it's going to be boring as shit. Sorry.
Well, hey, man, we got to spice it up on this show, okay? Yes, we know that.
Just in case we have any young listeners here, Tico Tech actually said it's going to be boring as so, look, I don't disagree with you. I don't think it's going to be the most exciting fight on the card. But if you throw this on a random Apex fight night, probably a solid fight. Again, still not the most exciting fight in the whole wide world. But I do think Tisha Pennington, I'll never get used to that, bro. I'm sorry. I don't think Tisha Pennington is going to, I think she's going to come in. She's going to look to really try and set the pace with the distancing, right? Her distance control is probably one of my favorite aspects of her fight game. And my favorite attack, my favorite tool in the toolbox for Tisha Pennington, formerly Tisha Torres, is the stepping side kick, right? She likes to do a really nice stepping side kick. I really love throwing that in sparring back in the day. It's a really good distance control. You step in, you hit that Bruce Lee kind of feel. You feel like you got a bit of swag. And it's also really nice to watch them just kind of go flying back. And it works on many, many people. You know what doesn't work on, though, Nano? Grapplers. Not great to throw that against a grappler because they will literally eat that kick or step outside, catch that leg, isolate, and dip or dump. And then it's not great for you. It's not a fun night for you. I hope you packed a lunch, kid. So I think that's probably what we're going to see here. Carla Esparza is the same exact height as Tisha Pennington. So honestly, I think that serves Tisha Pennington better than if she were taller. As we know, a wrestler with a low sense of gravity is an advantage. It's a good thing to have that reach disadvantage sometimes, especially knowing that Carla Esparza is the winner in the Ape Index category here with a 63-inch reach, even though she's the same height as Tisha Pennington, and Tisha coming in with a 1.5-inch less reach. Sorry, 2.5-inch less reach with 60.5. I think this should be Cookie Monster's fight to lose. She should be able to come out there, grapple, take advantage early, and just sap the energy and threats away from Tisha Pennington. The moment she secures a takedown off of that sidekick, I don't think Tisha will be willing to throw it again and risk the takedown threat. So it'll be, as Tico Tech said, possibly a very boring fight just because of the way that Tisha is going to be shut down by Carla Esparza. We'll talk about the bets closer to the end as we go over those live. So we'll move on into the light heavyweight division. We have a bout between Ryan Superman Span coming in against OSP, Ovent St. Preux. Again, this is another battle of kind of the aging folks that we thought were really going to be future champions that somewhat fizzled out to an extent. Now, Ovent St. Preux, possesses finishing power. We've seen him stand with some of the best light heavyweights in the world. And Superman Spann is one of these guys that I really thought could be the future of the division, but he simply never grew from a problem that he suffered with since day one, and that's being an extremely slow starter. The young man just does not get started in the first round, and it's proven to be just a detriment in the worst way to his career. I think he really needs to figure out a way to pull that trigger faster, maybe get a better warm up in the back or something, a better shakeout. But in this fight, I'm torn, man. I like both guys. I don't really want to see either one of these guys lose, if I'm being honest with you. And that makes it really, really hard to pick. It also doesn't help when both guys have similar skill sets to an extent, fairly similar records, and they also both have one punch knockout power at times, but it's few and far between. So it's hard to pick. But gun to head, I'd probably go Superman Spann. I feel like he's the fresher fighter in this one, even with the slow start time. Vince St. Preux has been plagued by the same thing. He's typically a slow starter, in my opinion. So I think those two things kind of negate each other. I think the better gas tank, probably Ryan Spann, and better game planning, probably Ryan Spann. However, if you bet money line on Ryan Spann, I'm not saying you should, but if you do, maybe sprinkle a little bit on OSP by submission. He could still get that St. Preux choke, aka the Von Flue choke. He's done it numerous times before. I think he did it like 2 or 3 times in a row. So he's always live for some crazy shit like that. But gun to head, give me Superman. Nano, who you got, brother?
I like it, brother. I like it. Great breakdown. And I'm going to ride your coattails on this one, my man. I'm going with Superman. I mean, hey, his nickname, your shoulder, the tat, my childhood. How do you bet against someone with that nickname? Like our boy S-Dog mentioned in the chat earlier here. I mean, you got to get a nickname. You got to rock with it. It resonates. But the reality is the skills back it up also. Okay. You mentioned the narrative coming into this one. 2 elders, 2 guys that may be on the back 9 of their career that have been in title contention before, that are household names, staples in the division. I'm surprised to see that Ryan Spann's still only 33 years old, so he does still have some runway left on this airplane here. Can he land it, though? Can he get it off the tracks? That's the big question. Because he's been really up and down, to say the least. But I will say, as you get older, the power's the last thing to go. He has 12 submissions under his belt as well, Ryan Spann. Regardless of that 3-fight losing streak, when you're going against an Vince St. Preux, someone that is 2-2 in his last 4, someone that's also coming off a win, it's not going to be a gimme, right? I know he's 40 years old. You may look at it, you may brush him off. You may think, okay, he's not what he once was. True. But again, power's the last thing to go. I think there's a good chance OSP can always find a way to sneakily get it done. However, I think Ryan Spann, if he stays focused and if he brings that power like he typically does, I think he can really hurt OSP, change it up early, get in the driver's seat, or potentially even find a finish. But I'm leaning Superman on this one. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby. Dude KO'd Reyes with a jab. It's a fact. He did do that.
I mean, Reyes,
that happened.
Yeah, yeah, it's fair. And I love Reyes, but you know, not that I want to say anyone is has a glass chin, but I think unfortunately Reyes has fallen off, to say the least.
So Tico Tech LLC in the chat said, I don't know if he'll win, but I think OSP does better than you guys might think. Spann has a tendency to not show up on the night. He lost his last 3. You're absolutely right, man. I think the last 3, I'll tell you what happened. Clark Kent showed up. He needs Superman to show up on Saturday night. And I'm banking on that. I'm banking on that happening. Now, without further ado, we're going to move into the actual prelims. We're all done with the early prelims, folks. Like I said, steamrolling right on through these, so we have more time for the funner fights here on the back end. So, Cesar Almeida coming in against Ihor Bolteria. Man. I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I'm going to keep my breakdown of this one very short. I think Vegas got it wrong here. There's a heavy favorite here in Cesar Almeida. And I think recency bias is just showing a whole hell of a lot. And I think it's kind of bullshit to an extent here, folks. I know this sport is a lot about what have you done for me lately, not what have you done for me. But Cesar Almeida has all of 6 professional fights. Okay, Ihor Polseria has as many losses as Cesar has professional fights, and he has 4 times that many wins. So when we're talking about experience, this is a bit of a mixed match. Thanks, Tico. 6-26. I don't know what they're thinking matching these guys up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misreading the room here. But, I mean, it feels like if you gave Dale Earnhardt a car and Dale Earnhardt Jr. a car right after he got his fucking license and said, all right, you two go race. Like, of course the veteran's going to win. He's a fucking beast. The other dude basically just got his license. I feel like that's what this feels like. And also, Cesar's coming off of a loss. Like, his most recent fight is literally a loss to Roman Kopylov. Granted, it was a split decision, but he definitely lost that fight. Yeah, give me the underdog in this one. I think I might do a straight money line pick on this one. Like, I don't know, maybe like a half a unit, but we'll see. What are your thoughts on this fight, Nano?
Man, I'm on the other end of the spectrum here, my brother. I'm going to have to let you and Tico Tech know, kindly, with all due respect, that y'all super fucking wrong, man. This guy, Cesar Almeida, is a dog, okay? Thank you, Tico Tech. Look at the comments. Kopylov, it was a tough loss, my brother. He took Kopylov to a split decision loss. He looked gosh darn good. And the thing is with Cesar Almeida, he's a Brazilian. He's tough. He comes from that kickboxing background. He actually fought against a Shama, Alex Bejeda, way back when as well.
Shama.
So this guy, and they're training together right now. Dude's freaky. He's next level. He's one of those guys. He's gonna be the next Brazilian we're talking about here. Again, just go turn on the tape. Go look, watch how close it was against a Roman Kopylov. And it wasn't like, oh, this is kickboxer who's drowning in MMA. It's like, no, he defended well. He had moments. It was a split decision. Again, you want to keep reiterating that, which means it was as close as they could possibly get. However, you know, Ihor, I think the thing is he's always a bet. I don't say bet in favor because he's technically not the betting favorite here. He is the underdog, but he's always a live bet, right? He's always someone that you could potentially go and look at and say, you know what, if I sprinkle a little bit here, you never know. But the reality is, for me, is he's too hit or miss. He won his debut on the Dana White Contender Series back in 2021, but then he lost. Beat my boy Shogun, which probably should have even been fighting him, frankly. Then he goes on, fights someone a little bit more in his ballpark in a Carlos Ulberg, loses. Okay. Loses again to Rodolfo Bellato, tough guy, KO. Hey, these things happen, especially in this division. Finally gets a win, but then he fights a tough Michel, and I'm not talking about the Globo Gym concierge. I'm talking about Michel Bejeda, a tough son of gun as well.
My fitness consigliere, Michel.
Not the concierge. Oh, man. But yeah, so I just think Ihor is just a little too up and down for me. A little too up and down for my liking. I think the odds certainly suggest we're dealing with somebody serious here. Another Brazilian. May not be a household name, but hey, Anderson Silva wasn't at one point. Alex Bejeda wasn't at one point. Not trying to put him in that same ballpark, but dude's legit. I think don't let the lack of a lot of fights here in the UFC fool you. And frankly, I'd rather him have less than more like Ihor, but then it's like he's 2-4. It's like, is that any better? I think I'd rather.
Come on, don't be crazy.
I digress. He has fight experience. Let me actually pull up his record while you tell me how crazy I am here.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, and it's okay. Let me say, like, he does have kickboxing record, as you said. He has a kickboxing win over Alex Pereira. He has 2 losses to Alex Pereira. They fought each other 3 times.
47-8.
Yeah. So he's had kickboxing bouts. He's had bouts outside of MMA, but MMA is very different. It is very different. So we'll see. We'll see. You and me will have to definitely bet a shot on that one. That'll be the first shot bet of the night. Cesar Almeida versus Ihor Potieria. Moving into the next one here. This is a fight it's very excited about. Now, the original fight we were supposed to get was Austin Hubbard versus the one, the only, Nate the Train Landwehr. And of course, we love Nate the Train out here. But he had to withdraw from the fight. And I thought we were going to lose this fight. I thought we were going to lose the chance to watch Austin Hubbard fight. And he's a very fun fighter, in my opinion. But we didn't. I digress. We had a young man willing to step up and possibly go out on his shield. We're talking about Alexander the Great Hernandez. I've enjoyed watching Alexander Hernandez lose fights since he talked shit about Cowboy Cerrone. And called him an old man and said he was going to send him packing with a feather in his hat or whatever the fuck he said. And then he got subbed by him. I think because of that, there might be a little bit of bias in this, but at the same time, I'm here to tell you, I don't really think it's a lot of bias involved. Austin Hubbard has more wins, less losses, same exact height, 1 inch reach disadvantage. I think Austin Hubbard, as of late, has looked like he's shown more improvements. So I agree with Tico Tech here. That fool ain't great. I think he gets the win over Alexander, the not so great. I think he does it in emphatic fashion. I would even go so far as to say probably gets the finish in this fight, even though he's not necessarily the most prolifically known finisher. And also, if you look at this one on Tapology, out of the people that have voted, 58% of them would disagree with me. And I'm pretty sure Nano is going to come off of mute and disagree with me as well. So let's hear it, Nano. Who you got?
I don't know, man. I don't know. No, I think we are on the same page here. I am leaning Austin Hubbard. I'm going our boy from The Ultimate Fighter here. We've seen him recently. I just think it's one of those things. I feel like he has a little bit more momentum coming in here. He's coming off a win most recently back in April. Very well-rounded. Alexander the Great Hernandez is, like Tico Tech said there in the comments, he's been very mid as of recent. On a 2-fight losing skid, 1-4 in his last 5. Frankly, just trending in the wrong direction, right? If these are stocks, I don't think that's one I necessarily want to buy low on at this point. I think I'm looking at him and I'm saying, Alex Hernandez, he's had a lot of wear and tear. And, the competition's stiff here in the lightweight division. What kind of new skills is he going to be developing? What is he going to bring to the table here that Austin hasn't seen? And I just don't know if it's going to be, again, anything that Austin has not seen before. I think he'll be prepared, ready to get after it. And I think he'll find a way to get it done, man. I do. Give me some of that Hubbard action. Let's go.
Let's go.
And he's an underdog, so that's a potential bet.
He's a dog.
It's a dog.
I have to take that dog. You already know what it is. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to take that dog as well. And I'm cooking over here. I think I'm gonna take a single bet on Ihor Potieria. I'm gonna do a half unit. So what that looks like is 1 unit pays out 3.95. So we're happy with that. We'll do it a half unit. Basically get almost 2 units out of it. And then Austin Hubbard, if you bet 1 unit on him, you get 2.36. So we'll go ahead and bet a half unit on him, get a little over 1 unit out of it. And then if we pair those two together, if we think that the dogs are going to rule the night, plus 832 odds on that one, you can put a unit on that and get 9.32 units. So, fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and do a fifth of a unit on that one. Because why the hell not? Why the hell not, folks? Moving into the next one, we have a little bit more of an intriguing matchup for me. This is one that I definitely went more back and forth on than the Austin Hubbard versus Alexander Hernandez fight, just because I really like both women, and I do think stylistically it's a very fun matchup. But I'll let you take the lead on this one, Nano. We have Marina Rodriguez coming in against Yasmin Lucindo. And folks in the chat, Let us know who you see winning this one. Nano, who you got?
Let's go. This is a big one, my brother. This is a big one. I am leaning Marina Rodriguez, not to leave y'all waiting too long here. I'm going the old buck. I usually don't like doing this. I'm probably going to end up regretting it for a few reasons here. Another underdog. But I've just seen her be the tougher opponent in her last few fights. Granted, Marina has not won them all, right? Our girl Jessica Andrade did beat her. Marina Rodriguez is 37 years old. 17-4 record, 7 KOs, 1-3 in those last 4. Again, most recently lost to Andrade. What is her motivation at this point? But I think it's exactly that, right? I think it's like it's a wounded dog. That's the one you don't want to mess with. Back against the wall, all cards stacked against her. I think that's why she's exactly going to go out there and win and teach this young fighter a lesson, okay? Is Yasmin Lucindo a great fighter? Absolutely. Does she have all the skills and the tools to be a potential future contender? Absolutely. 22 years young, 16-5, AKOs already, 3 subs, so 50% of her wins. She's knocking girls out. And you can tell. I think that's the big story with her is half the time she's knocking your lights out as a girl in her division there. That says a lot. And again, only 22 years young. So she's looking to make a name for herself here. Looking to make a name for herself here.
Ooh, you know how long she's been waiting for this?
She's been waiting for this.
Out here.
Just to make sure we'll remember what happened the other day. But yeah, man, she's a big striker, throws punches and bunches. She fights with that angry edge to her. And since her loss to Yasmin Yadaguay, she's been on a 3-fight win streak, since her loss to Yasmin. So, all things said, she's a stud. She's going to be fine angry. I'm just leaning the person I've seen a little bit more that I know can also strike with the best of them. Won't be surprised if I'm wrong, though. Maybe you're going to tell me that I am wrong, which, again, I can probably be talked out of this. This is probably one I would hedge or just, frankly, not listen to me in terms of a bet perspective because I'm going with my heart on this one. What do you got for me, brother?
I got to be honest, man. I like the young gun in this one. As much as I love a Marina Rodriguez, I like Yasmin Lucindo a lot more in this one. Marina Rodriguez has a kind of traditional like Thai boxing style. Very upright with her stance, likes to throw at a very long range, let people come in on her and like land short shots. But Lucindo has a very, very great ability to adapt and move in with her strikes and also range control, right? I say it again and again, and you wouldn't think it looking at him because, again, Lucindo is 5'2", and her opponent, Marina Rodriguez, is 5'5". You would think looking at them at first glance, even just seeing them stare down, doing the stare downs, right? You would think that Rodriguez has the reach advantage, but you would think wrong, my friend, because she actually is at a 1-inch deficit here. So though Yasmin Lucindo will be punching up, which obviously is not fun to do, she's very good at it. And she's also used to it. She's not a very tall woman. But she does have a decent reach. The fact that she doesn't have a reach deficit here, she doesn't have a reach disadvantage, means that she will be able to close the distance. And also, she's pretty decent when it comes to the grappling. Like her takedown threats are pretty fucking solid, considering that that's how she beat Karolina Kowalkiewicz. She got 2 of 6 of her takedowns, established control, and dominated the fight from there to an extent. If you look at the fight before that, Polyana Viana, she went 2 for 2 on takedowns. What did I just fucking say? Low sense of gravity is fantastic for a grappler. This chick has a low sense of gravity. Give me Lucindo here. I think she takes it over Rodriguez. And I mean, I think Vegas definitely got this one right, folks. She's a minus 198 favorite here. Nano said hedge this. Maybe you do hedge it. I don't know how I would stack the hedging. I haven't done the math on that, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. But if it's me, if I bet on it, I'll probably take Yasmin Lucindo just money line outright. Minus 198 is not a terrible pick. You can get 1.5 units back on 1 unit in. So you basically make 0.5, half a unit profit on that. It's not bad money, safe money. I might end up doing a half unit on that just to keep building the bank here at the MMAnomaly Show. And we move on. Before we move on, actually, Nano, do you have any bets on this one, or do you want to save the bet talk until the end of the show entirely?
Yeah, I mean, I guess probably to the end here as I'm going through. But in terms of a betting perspective, I'm staying away from this one. Like, I do think there's a good chance the betting favorite and Yasmin will probably end up winning. Like I said, that's probably why I end up hedging it, because I'm leaning Marina Rodriguez. I've just seen her a little bit more. I feel like she just has that like edge to her as well. Like in terms of fight IQ as well, I think that's kind of the thing that's making me say, don't be so quick to go with the young buck here, right? She still has a lot of learning to do. So
Come on, don't be crazy.
Staying away from it betting wise, though. I'm not going to suggest anything. And I guess for my bet parlay, as I'm putting together here live in action, it's not going to be on there. Stay away from that one. Too close of a call.
You love to see it. You love to see it. Tico Tech in the chat here said, wingspan is different from arm length. It is. You're correct, sir. I agree with you. Moving into the next one here, folks, we have the Karate Kid himself, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, coming in against Joaquin Buckley. Lean, mean, clean Joaquin. This is gonna be a nasty fight. I think we might be different on this one. I think we might be differentiating against one another here. No, I'll let you actually take the lead on this one, because I'm curious to hear your thoughts. We haven't talked about this one at all offline, so I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, brother. This is a big one, man. This is a big one. I know we just had a similar situation. We got the old bull versus the young calf, and I'm very torn, man. I'm very torn. Even right now, as I'm talking out loud, I was leaning one way, but now I'm looking at it, and it's really, really hard for me to go against my boy Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and I can probably be talked into making a case for my boy Joaquin Buckley. One, because it's my brother's name, but two, I think he does have the wrestling game, and he's explosive, man, and he's just on this weird winning streak right now. Like, he just has an edge to him that I think can go out there and get it done and continue to strive in the right direction. But and again, I mean, hey, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he's 1-3 in his last 4, so this is a big situation. He's 41 years old, 17-7 record, 8 KOs, 1 sub. Another guy with a massive kickboxing career, karate career. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is one of the best strikers that ever put the gloves on. I do think he can still do it, but someone like Joaquin Buckley, that's 30 years old, 19-6 record, 13 KOs. Like, I just feel like he's gonna want to try to push him back, and he kind of has that just that F it mentality, right? Like, Joaquin Buckley, I mean, you might catch him partied in Vegas at a pool party before his fight. He may be saying some outlandish stuff. He may land one of the craziest knockouts you've ever seen, which was obviously one of his claim to fames. But he's been beaten. Like, he's obviously not somebody that is undefeated, but he's taken his lumps. He is on a 4-fight win streak currently. But again, I mean, it's tough. He has not looked great against some of those top level guys, right? A Chris Curtis or a Nasruddin Imavov, someone that is as high level as it gets, and that's Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. So I'm curious to hear, curious to know what you listeners are thinking right now. If it's like, who is he picking? But I'm going Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I felt like I was very wishy-washy there. I'm trying to give y'all both sides of the coin, because, again, it makes sense, brother. If it makes dollars, it makes sense. But I'm going with my boy Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Until the wheels fall off, I just simply can't bet against him. And he is the underdog here again. Gosh darn it. Why does this keep happening? I might be making a lot of money, y'all. Or
the dog's barking in the backyard, baby.
Come on.
Dog.
I like these dogs, baby. I like these dogs.
I'm liking
baby.
the dogs too, brother. I'm liking the dogs for dang sure. Yeah, I like Stephen Thompson in this one. First and foremost, great breakdown as always, Nano. I like Stephen Thompson in this fight, not looking at the odds. I like him even more seeing him at plus 180. I'll take that all day and night. And I think that there's going to be a bit of a line shift after the show, for sure. Overnight, I think there's going to be a bit of a line shift. Joaquin Buckley is going to come out there and look to take him down, but I just don't know that he's going to be able to take down somebody like a Wonderboy Thompson. Wonderboy is very, very good at moving outside of range. The footwork might be too much for somebody like a Joaquin Buckley, who he's fought a number of mixed martial artists, but has he ever fought a ninja? Because that's exactly what Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is. Look, don't take me up on this. This is all bias. The dude's 41 years old. He drives around in a karate school bus with his dad and picks up children and basically is literally the Karate Kid. You'll see later for my picks. I think I photoshopped like a Miyagi-Do bandana on him or something. So like, I'm going for the guy as a Karate Kid fan, as a kid of, the 80s. But Joaquin Buckley does have a lot of paths to victory here. He does have the ability to go out there and wrestle and make this, albeit not the most exciting win in the world, he does have the ability to make this a win. And as Tico Tech is saying here, Father Time catches up to all, especially at 170. Completely agree. I think it's an unforgiving weight class. And my hope is that Wonder Boy wins this fight and then retires. Because if he loses, I know he'll keep fighting. It just is what it is. And I think he does have the right tools to do this. He has to keep range. He has to stay on the back foot, use the sidekick to keep distance. His sidekick is extremely fast and extremely tricky. He throws it from weird angles. But he has to also be weary to not give that leg up for takedowns the same way that I was saying Tisha Torres is going to do it. Sorry, Tisha Pennington is going to do it against Carla Cookie Monster Esparza. So yeah, give me Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Money line on that one. Will I bet on it? Probably. I'm a degenerate. It's going to happen. Will Nano bet on it? Yeah, he is too. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Will it cash? Hope so. We'll let you know next week, folks. Probably on Monday or Tuesday. With that being said, you know what time it is, folks. It is time for the main card.
It's time
To kick things off in the women's bantamweight division with Ketlin Vieira coming in against Kayla Harrison. What the fuck, bro? This is the opener for the main card?
This card's stacked. I was just gonna say I've had a great time breaking it down so far. A lot of big names, and we're just cracking the surface, baby. This is a low key banger, as we say around these pots. But man,
High key banger.
here's to hear what y'all think. We got about 20 in here. Let me know. Let us know. What do we got? Scale of 1 to 10.
What do you rate
Put an
this on a scale of 1 to
emoji.
10?
Put some out there. Let us know, man. Tweet it out. What do we got? How are we feeling about this? What's the temp? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it so-so? Is it mediocre? Is it mid, as the kids are saying? I think I saw that.
Give it an 8.5.
Ooh.
I've given worst cards top to bottom an 8, so I'm giving it an 8.5.
I like it. I'll give it an 8-9. It's an A for me. But it's scratching the surface, right? It's an 8-8, 8-9. It's rounded up to that A. Anything with Chama on it, dude. I'm signed up. Sign me up for Chama. Chama.
We're gonna do a shot for the main card, buzz. Doing it. Pour one up. Drink your sparkling water, Tico Tech.
And smoke some for us. S dog.
Yes, dog. And make sure you check out that guy's channel as well. I'll make sure I do a name drop at the end of the show for that guy as well. Super nice dude. He actually shouted out John Anik, and John Anik hit him with the retweet, which is how I found him.
It's fire.
So fire.
Fire.
Low key fire, high key fire, whatever the kids are saying. Either way, it's fire. Folks.
That's Riz.
Drinking out of the Team Lasso shot glass today because I believe in these picks. Cheers, folks.
Salud.
And we believe in you. Hope you're having a great week.
To a great weekend. Let's go.
Yeehaw. So, now it is time to talk about this women's bantamweight bout between Ketlin Vieira and Kayla Harrison. I'll take the lead on this one. I've been putting you in the spotlight a little bit too much here, Nano. Or putting you in the hot seat, I should say. Now, Ketlin Vieira, obviously the UFC veteran here in comparison to Kayla Harrison, but Kayla Harrison is the MMA veteran. She pointed something out during the press conference that I thought was very stunning. Juliana Pena was talking about, you're new here. You act like you're deserving, but you're new here. I've been here. And she pointed out that Juliana Pena started her career years before she did in mixed martial arts. And Juliana Pena is 12-5. Kayla Harrison just started her mixed martial arts career in 2019? And she's 17-1. God bless you. So 17-1 in a 5-year span. That's pretty fucking good, kid. That is pretty fucking good. And with that being said, Ketlin Vieira's best comeback at the entire thing, the thing that she kept saying is like, you're ugly, you're ugly. And then she said that you think you're a good grappler because you have judo, but I'm black belt. I am a black belt. Good for you. I love that you're a black belt. She's a black belt in judo. So black belt in judo, black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I truly think that Kayla Harrison just as well be a fucking X-Men because she is a mutant when it comes to being extremely good at mixed martial arts. I don't think she's on steroids. I don't think that she's doing any PEDs. She's pissed in cups. The cup hasn't melted. They've tested negative. Everything's fine. She also made 135. I thought that was probably the biggest issue or test for her going into this whole thing. But she made it. She did it. She made it happen. So give me Kayla Harrison in this all day of the week. And I'm picking Kayla Harrison because that was my first round draft pick in the UFC fantasy sports draft that we set up offline here. And folks, if you want in on this, send me a DM on Twitter or somewhere. Happy to have anybody and everybody join. We're going to start doing these probably either once a quarter or once a half. It's like a fantasy draft. You pick one fighter from each weight class plus one flex fighter. So a fighter from any weight class of your choice. And I tally those points up for you using the DraftKings fantasy system. And whoever wins gets a decent amount of money. So let us know if you want to join. Drew, what up, brother? Happy to see you here. I didn't know Brock Lesnar was fighting this week. Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
This guy.
What a guy. What a fucking guy. Yeah, give me Kayla Harrison. Nano, who you got?
I was rewatching, speaking of Brock Lesnar, I was watching the Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix. Go check it out. But she is giving off a little, Attitude Era lessener there for sure. I digress. Man, this is a banger, brother. You hit the nail on the head. I don't think I need to cover much more other than, Kayla Harrison's going to go out there. And I do think this is going to be a big statement for her. Ketlin Vieira is a strong, big woman here, represent Brazil. She's not going to roll over, play dead. She's going to go out there and smash her opponent. Very equal size, stature, obviously not as muscular and not as popular. And frankly, I just don't think she's as skilled as a Kayla Harrison, especially when it comes to that judo game. I mean, absolutely next level. Absolutely next level. Kayla's legit, man, and she's been fighting 3-4 times a year. That's how you get to that 17-1 record so quick. To your point, I mean, literally like clockwork. There's a few things that are guaranteed, and it's Kayla Harrison fighting on a quarterly basis, making $1 million at that too. So she's a beast. She's gonna continue to shock the world, I believe here. Man. What more can I say? I mean, 17 wins for Kayla Harrison, 6 KOs, 7 subs, 13 out of 17 wins are by finish. Did not need the judges. She's got it all, man. She's got it all. She can talk her shit. I like that she's a little bit more humble, but I think she's going to go out there and whoop some ass. And I'm looking forward to what's going to be talked about here next week. And if you think I'm crazy, if you think I'm being a little cocky, just go look at the odds. She's minus 1,050. She's just about as much of a lock as you can get. And if anything, maybe I was gonna say, look at the odds for what's like, what it might look like for, by TKO, KO, or sub or something like that. Maybe a little bit better odds, but I'm chasing that for show. Kayla Harrison, lock it up. Signed, sealed, delivered.
So if you're looking for better odds on Kayla Harrison, who's obviously going to get the win here, I think probably the best way to get positive money's worth out of this is I do think she's live for a finish here. Howdy, Sav. How you doing? Hope you're having a blessed night. Hope you're having a fantastic night. And welcome to the show. So
howdy, partner.
I think she's going to get a finish. Do you think she's live for a finish here, Nano? Kayla Harrison?
Man, I mean, she's someone that certainly is capable. I mean, Caitlin Vieta only has 3 losses in her career. One is by a KO, which was by Irene Aldana back in 2019. It can happen. I think a submission is more likely than a KO now that I'm thinking about it, but to bet whether it's a finish
you can get
or
the
not,
double odds.
I like that.
You get the double odds inside the distance. So basically, submission or knockout, KO, TKO, DQ, or submission. You can get that for plus 110 currently.
Oh yeah, I like that.
I think I'm going to do a half uni on that. I think we're going to load that in. That's a half unit to win just a little bit over 1 full unit. So you put in a half, you get a whole. We love to see it. We love to see it, folks. I love when we agree. Love when we agree. Now, this next one, I don't know if we're going to agree on, but I hope we do. We got Roman Dolidze coming in against Kevin Big Mouth Holland in the middleweight division. I had to say the division in this one for sure, because it matters. It really does when it's a Kevin Holland fight. And I mean, apparently when it's a fucking Roman Dolidze fight too. Dude has fought at light heavyweight. So, Nano, I'm going to let you take the lead on this one. I'm very, very curious to hear what your thoughts are when it comes to Roman Dolidze coming in against Kevin Holland.
This is a fun one, my brother. Big Mouth coming in here with his 15 spot next to his name, ranked opponent. A tough opponent, man. A strong Georgian in Roman Dolidze, 36 years old, ranked number 10 right now. 13-3 record, 7 KOs, 3 subs, and he's coming off a big win against a Lionheart. Roman is somebody that, frankly, wouldn't want to mess with. He looks as big as, he looks too big for the division, to be totally honest with you. And with all that being said, I do think that the wrestling is going to be the big neutralizer here. It's going to be what Kevin Holland's going to have to try to avoid. Does have 8 submissions under his belt, Kevin Holland. He's 31 years old. He's still in his prime, still getting better and better. His opponent's 36, so he's a little bit on the other side there. But Kevin Holland, man, 26-11 record, 14 KOs, 8 subs, excuse me. That's 22 out of his 26 wins were by finish. He gets it done, man. And he's finally in a spot in his career. He's always been very active. Him and Alex Bejeda are 2 of the most active fighters on the roster. And sure enough, we're getting them both the same night. So you'd love to see that. But if he could get a win here, man, he's in a spot to put himself in a legit contender status. Obviously, he cracked the top 10, even just by looking at the sheer numbers here, potentially even higher. But, man, I do think that when it comes to avoiding the wrestling game of Roman, I do think that Kevin's going to be more skilled, he's going to be quicker, and he's going to be more athletic on the feet. And then if it does go to the ground, I do think he could throw up some submission attempts or some threats, even if it's nothing too crazy. But he's really crafty when it comes to him using his long limbs and using that ground game. I think Big Mouth's going to find a way to get it done. He is the underdog here, so I'm going to continue to ride that wave. Oh, wait, no. I'm tripping. He's the betting favorite. Let's go. Let's go. I like it. Give me Kevin Holland, baby. Give me Big Mouth. What you got, brother? We on the same wavelength here?
We are. And before I give my thoughts here, I'm going to jump in the chat here. Tico Tech LLC said, Kev's my guy. But he has the biggest loser mentality I've ever seen in the sport. He has tons of built-in excuses. It's why he has a glass ceiling as far as fighting top guys. Tico Tech, I'm not recalling exactly what you're referring to. Can you tell me what built-in excuses that he had recently, or kind of more so if he's already saying anything for this fight? I haven't really heard anything for this fight quite yet, other than the fact that he thinks his opponent is going to try and wrestle. Fuck him. Which is probably an honest depiction here, folks. Now, if you look at these fighters' history, right? One has been finished by sub 3 times and by TKO once, by decision 7 times. The other has been beaten by decision 3 times and never been sub, never been TKO'd. So he's never been finished. Now, there's a good thing and a bad thing from that. When you've never been finished, A, it shows that you have an extreme level of durability, and just kind of wherewithal during fights to have your head about you, and your wits about you when you're eating these big damaging shots, right? But at the same time, I digress. If you've never been knocked out, if you've never really had your bell rung, right? Maybe you think you're invulnerable. Maybe you think that can't happen to you to an extent. And if that's the case, then what happens when a Kevin Holland starts hitting you from the bottom and he's doing more damage than most people have ever done to you from the top or from a standing position? We've seen Kevin Holland get a knockout over a Jacare Souza while underneath him, right? I just pulled that name out of my ass. I may be wrong about that. I think it was Jacare. But yeah, I mean, he got that knockout from underneath, and he's gotten some crazy ass finishes just in general, Kevin Holland. So I think some of the big things to look at here are the reach, which Kevin Holland has the clear advantage in. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage, which for Kevin Holland, you might as well give him a mile reach advantage because he knows how to fucking use it. Okay. In football and in the bedroom, they say it's a game of inches. That guy's got fucking a ton of them. Okay. So I just think that he's going to be a real problem here. Daryl Clark in the chat. What's up, Daryl? How we doing? Holland's grappling is very good. He subbed Chiesa. I completely agree. I think his grappling is extremely good. I actually think he's pretty live for a submission. If I was going to pick, obviously I love that he's a favorite because respect. He deserves it. Minus 155. And that's not terrible odds. But I also think that he's, again, very live for a finish here. So if you want to pick him and get slightly better odds on him, you could definitely do that. If you go and you look at the method of victory double chance on DraftKings Sportsbooks, you can actually get him at, let's see here. Yeah, you can get Kevin Holland to win inside the distance. So by KO, TKO, DQ, or submission at plus 250. So that's 1 unit in will get you 3.5 back. So you profit 2.5 units off of one. I'm not 100% confident to where I'd put a whole unit on that. But I will say I'll probably end up putting something like a fifth of a unit or maybe even a half a unit on that one because I think it makes a lot of sense. Kevin Holland is a finisher. And even though somebody like a Roman Dolidze has not been finished, he's also cutting down in weight. He's going back down to this weight class. And that does deplete a little bit of lining from the chin and a little bit of lining from the brain. So a little bit more room for things to swish around in there for you eat that shot and go to sleep. And somebody like Kevin Holland with a 6-inch reach advantage is definitely going to take advantage of that reach. Tico Tech says, he said in the past he doesn't care if he becomes a champ or not and just wants to stay active and is so unbothered by losses. There was something else I can't remember, though, to be honest. No, that's fair. He's a good fighter. If he can get his mind right, I think he can be successful. I completely agree. Roman isn't very good and gets tired very easily. Hope Kev gets it done. I think he actually is going to get a lot more tired at this weight class because he's cutting the weight. He's draining himself to get down there. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he misses weight tomorrow morning on the scale. Daryl Clark says, this is a big opportunity for Holland to enter the rankings of middleweight and get into that top 15. I completely agree, and I just hope that he chooses a lane and stays in it. I think it's extremely hard to race in two races at the same time, and that's essentially what he's been trying to do at welterweight and middleweight. If you want to enjoy your steak and fries, do that and stay at middleweight and just crash down the doors and kick in the doors and get up there in the fucking rankings. Yeah, give me Big Mouth in this one. Give me Big Mouth all fucking day. Nano, who you got and why?
It's got to be Big Mouth, brother. It's got to be Big Mouth. I to reiterate why I feel like I was surprised to see him as the Ben favorite here, but I think he has enough in the skill set in the toolbox. I think his speed will be the differentiator, and as long as he can stuff those takedowns and not get too tired out by the elevation, and again by having to stuff all those takedowns.
I keep forgetting about the elevation, man. I'm wondering if that is going to play any kind of part in this.
I mean, it's an even playing field, I guess, for them both, right? Unless maybe someone's sea level Kane potentially, but we'll find out.
Well, one of them trains at Travis Luter BJJ. I believe that's in Texas. And the other one trains at Extreme Couture, which is in Vegas. So, I mean, both are used to extreme heat. One is a little bit higher elevation than the other, that being Vegas. But I don't know if it's going to pay that much dividends for him being in Utah.
Yeah. And just if you look at those two fighters, I think, I guess Roman, he fades a little bit more than Big Mouth, I guess. I don't think of Big Mouth. I don't think of him fading a ton. Maybe not fighting with the highest IQ is one thing, but he's usually there. He keeps that power. He's fast, like has some late finishes, has a lot of them. I'm leaning Big Mouth here for sure. Gots to.
Love it. Love it when we agree. Love it when we agree. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's a magical moment, my friend. It's a magical moment. Moving into the next one, we have a bantamweight bout. I'll go ahead and take the lead on this one. We got Jose Aldo coming in against Mario Bautista. Now, I'll keep it short and sweet on this one, folks. I'm not going to take too much of your time when it comes to this breakdown. Jose Aldo stands at 5'6" tall. His opponent is 5'8" tall, and his opponent somehow, even though he's 2 inches taller, has a 1 inch less reach. Now, Jose Aldo is someone who started training with the Navy when it comes to boxing. I do agree with you, Daryl Clark. It is a bit of a toss-up fight here, but I digress. I'm a bit of an old dog myself, so I got to go with the old dog in Jose Aldo, folks. Can I get a little fucking dog action up in here, folks? Jeez, let's go.
Let's go, baby.
So I got to go with the old dog here in Jose Aldo. I think that the boxing is going to get it done more than anything. But on top of that, I mean, who is Mario Bautista but just another rinse, wash, repeat clone of the younger versions of Jose Aldo that we've seen coming in? I'm talking about the Jonathan Martinez's of the world, right? And what happened this last time out when Jonathan Martinez came out there and thought that he was going to be able to beat the older, aging Jose Aldo, who's 38 years old. He simply was not able to get it done. And those two guys have also fought, I believe. Have they not? So, have they not? Am I tripping? Is that just a fight that I want to see? No, that's just a fight I want to see. Fuck.
Ooh.
All right, so when Jose Aldo beats Mario Bautista, I've already got my who's next for Mario Bautista in next week's episode. And it's Jonathan Martinez, folks. Spoiler alert. That'd be a banger of a fight. Both of the fallen foes of Jose Aldo's. I think Jose gets this done. I think he checks a couple leg kicks, makes Bautista regret and think about what he's doing in there. And as soon as you start thinking, your opponent starts doing, and that's when you start feeling the pressure and the pain. Jose Aldo is just a very cerebral fighter and a very reactional fighter in there in the best kind of way. Yeah, give me Aldo. I just think he dominates the pace and dictates the dance. Teaches a young man a lesson.
I like it, brother. I like it. He's teaching lessons out there, and I'd have to agree with you, my brother. I'd have to agree with you. Now, I'm going to say it like this, though. I am rooting for my guy, Mario Bautista. He's from Arizona. He's repping Phoenix. I'm out of here right now as well. Not originally, but I'm here now. So I'm rooting for him. Like, I want to see a good outing from him. He's at that 11th spot. He's certainly a good fighter, and if he could get a win over a legend like Jose Aldo, that's a huge, huge feather in the cap. Obviously, an amazing honor just to share the octagon with someone like him. But the reality is, the way Jose Aldo looked last fight, he's an absolute legend, and I just simply can't bet against him. Like I said earlier, my expression to those of you that are thinking, I don't know, what are you doing, man? He's getting old. Hang him up. Hey, man, I'm riding until the wheels fall off. Okay, so you're talking to someone that might be a little irrational here. But, again, go turn on the tape. He beat a badass, tough fighter in Jonathan Martinez. You mentioned what might he do different, or maybe pose the question, what might he do? What might Mario Bautista bring that Jonathan Martinez brought or didn't bring? I do think the wrestling is going to be a little bit different here. But, hey, that's not anything that our boy Jose Aldo has not seen before, okay? Need I remind you, he did square off and almost beat the current champion. I'm talking about a Merab Dvalishvili back in August 2022. Really fun fight. Y'all gotta go back and watch it. He looked gosh darn good. So I'm going with the underdog here, man. It's crazy to say, but I guess just thinking that, again, he's 38 years old. He's fighting the who's of the who in today's day and age, but Jose's special. He's a legend. I'm going to say it like this as a turkey, trying to imitate another animal here. Bah! He's the GOAT, baby. He's one of the GOATs. So give me Jose Aldo. Please don't roast me in the comments there. I did my best, but I'm going with the underdog here to find a way to get it done. But need I remind you, I'm rooting for both fighters. I gotta say, can't totally go against my guy Mario Bautista because he's repping Phoenix, he's repping AZ. But man, I am gonna sprinkle a little bit on this Jose Aldo underdog pick because that just feels disrespectful. Let's go, baby. Am I crazy?
You're not crazy at all, brother. I'm with you. I think Aldo gets it done, man. I already said it. I already seen it in my mind. I do have to address something in the chat here. Dude, Drew said it. This should have been Aldo versus Cruz. We were robbed. Dana got us looking for that fight like, where are you? I'm so sorry. We could have had two legends fight Saturday night. Honestly, Aldo versus Cruz would have been a fucking baller of a fight, brother. Would have been a baller of a fight.
Legit. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Maybe it still can happen, I guess.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Maybe still could. But I digress. You know how long he been waiting for this? Jose Aldo better make a name for himself out here on Saturday night. I am excited for this fight. I think Jose Aldo is going to get it done. And moving into the next fight, we have the most exciting co-main event I've ever seen in my entire life. My entire life. Folks, can we get some hella air horns? That's right. We got Raquel Pennington coming in against Juliana, the Venezuelan vixen, Pena. I'm so stoked on this fight, folks. I'm so stoked about this fight that I'm going to let Nano take the lead while I do a shot just so I can get myself hyped to talk about it. Nano, let's go.
Oh my gosh. That's a great lead in, my brother. Great lead in. Outside of us having enough fireworks and horns to wake up the whole village here, man, what a co-main event we got, right? It's a championship fight. It's our girl Juliana Pena, aka the Queen of Cringe, taking the title from Henry Cejudo. All jokes aside, though, did see her go out there and beat and upset and shock the world when her fight against Amanda Nunes went the way it did the first time. She beat her. I was there. I seen it live in the flesh. It took the air out the room. I never felt anything like it. It was one hell of an experience. And that's where it does make it tough for me to bet against a Juliana Pena. Yes, she's cringy. Yes, I don't necessarily love a lot of the antics or some of the things she says or how she kind of, operates a little bit in that in between of cocky and confident. But I'll tell you what now. And I do have to say this as well. She's a good athlete. She's a good athlete. She's a good wrestler, tough fighter. But again, she's cringe. Like that. That's just what it is. But the last 2 years off, was that good or not? I think that's the big question here, brother, as I defer to you here in a second. Curious to hear if you do think, was she was injured? Is that something that's going to end up being beneficial for her? Was she improving her game? What was going on in between that time? And how's she going to feel fighting someone else besides Amanda Nunes? This will be the first time she has fought anyone else besides Amanda Nunes in the octagon since January of 2021. We are 2-3 months away from January 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Do the math. About 4 years. Think of your whole high school career, and that's all you've done is fought one person twice and then sat out the whole time. That is an interesting spot to be in. But then, going over to the other side of the shoe here, Raquel Pennington, the current champ, 36 years old. She got a 16-8 record, so a little bit more active, obviously. Has not lost since her defeat in 2020 against a Holly Holmes. And these two women go back. They're OGs in the division. I have a hard time picking it. I guess, man, I just want to keep leaning the underdog for whatever reason. But if I'm being honest, I do see Raquel Pennington going out there just fighting a smarter game. I think she's not going to have any ring rust, so she's going to go out there, pillar to post, be dialed in, be ready to, I think, be able to take the best punches that Julia has to offer. And then if it goes to the ground or if it becomes this grappling exchange, I do think that Raquel will have the upper hand there as well. I just don't think Juliana's in that same realm. It's tough, right? I mean, Carla, as far as is in a similar spot in the sense that, hey, she beat some legends. She was an ex-champ. Where is she at now? I guess that's just the big question here. But I'm going to take the fighter that's a little bit more active because all other skills and things like that are essentially nullified. So give me the one that's more busy, less cringe, and is the current champ. Doc me, brother. Are you leaning the same direction here? Do you feel the underdog? How do you feel about the time off? What are some of the narratives? And give us the thoughts, brother. No filter. Give it to us raw.
Man. I'll be honest with you. I feel like there's a lot to really break down and digest here. The last time that the last time Juliana Pena fought, as you said, was against Amanda Nunes. That was back in 2022, July 30th. To answer your question, Daryl Clark in the chat. So her last fight was over 2 years ago at this point, right? That's a very, very long time. And then if you look at her opponent in Raquel Pennington, she fought in January. She got a win. She won the belt over Mayra Shitara Bueno Silva. And she did it pretty darn well, in my opinion. So I truly think that Raquel is the better fighter all around from top to bottom, finish to start when it comes to this fight. I think she has all the tools to finish the fight on Saturday. And I just think the inactivity of Juliana Pena is the biggest issue. She won the season of Ultimate Fighter that Raquel Pennington was on, but Raquel Pennington is the champion. Raquel Pennington fights at the presser. Juliana Pena was like, I would be a better champion because, I did Ellen DeGeneres. I did Good Morning America. I did this. I did that. You did everything but fight regularly in the UFC. You've had like 4 fights in 6 years. Just stop. So for my mentality, because I don't want to see Juliana Pena be given a mic for the next 6 to 8 months, I just can't take it. I need Raquel Pennington to win this fight. And with that being said, I have poured up my last shot for the fight card here. Maybe I'll do one after the bets. Who knows? We'll see. See, the night's young-ish. Chama. Or as Michael Jackson says, Shamona. Brother. Chama. Which, of course, means let's go in Brazilian or Portuguese. To you, to us, to everybody listening, Chama.
Salud. Which cheers in Spanish.
Love that. You said that, which is cheers in Spanish. The way that you said that made me think of our tour guide when we went to Hawaii. Was it last year or year before? One of those years. Went to Hawaii. We had like the stereotypical Hawaiian guy. He had like the thick Hawaiian accent. And I feel like every basic word he said, right after he'd say it, he would then, and again, like maybe all the stuff he was saying was real, but I feel like he was genuinely making stuff up at one point. Like he'd be like,
okay.
He'd be in the middle of a spiel and like sneeze, for example, and be like, "Phew. Excuse me. Kahua ala mea." Which of course is, I'm sorry, I just sneezed during the middle of my speech in Hawaiian. Like he would just make
like, all right. I mean, is that really?
I'm like, I actually don't want to fact check it because I love the allure. I'm just gonna keep going with the excitement.
Like, how often am I gonna use this? Okay, well, I'll take it.
It was hella funny. I just feel like he had like a which of course in Hawaiian is blah, 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 blah. And it was like, he had something for every phrase. And I'm like, it's actually kind of incredible.
That's fantastic.
But the actual phrases have disappeared from my memory forever.
Fair enough. That's usually how it goes.
Alcohol. Moving into the main event of the evening, folks. I'll let Bruce do it better than I ever could.
It's time!
That's right, folks. It's time for the light heavyweight main event of the evening. We got Alex Pereira coming in against Khalil Roundtree Jr., folks. And I just did him a disservice. I said Khalil, and he has said numerous times, it is not Khalil. It's Khalil. Like Khalil Wayne. Khalil Boozy. Khalil whatever. Khalil pair of shoes. Not Khalil. So Khalil Roundtree Jr. coming in against Alex Pereira. Now, he's got more losses than Alex Pereira. He's also got more wins than Alex Pereira, folks. I'm just going to address the elephant in the room here. I'm going to come right out and say it, Nano. I don't think we're going to agree on this one, brother. I got Khalil inside of 3 rounds. I think he gets it done. He said this week that he's been saving a special move, and he thinks that Alex Pereira is the perfect person to unveil that special move on. I mean, it sounded like something right out of a fucking anime, bro. He's like, I've been training this move for my entire life, and there's never been an enemy that's been worthy of it. But if there's one enemy that I know can take it, it's Alex Pereira. I mean, I truly think Khalil Roundtree Jr. is going to get it done inside of 3, and I'll tell you why. Alex Pereira is an extremely gifted fighter. He is a fighter that excels in one style above all else, and that's Muay Thai style kickboxing. Now, the reason that he typically does really, really well, there's actually 2 reasons, in my opinion, that he does really, really well. Now, what are those 2 reasons, or what are those 2 kind of methodologies to victory? Well, he does really well and his opponents let him lead the dance. Or he does really well when they lead the dance themselves, but provide small breaks. So if we're talking in dancing terms, right? Like pause. That's how he gets you. Right? That would have been a left hook right there on the fucking jawline. So when you do a pause, that's what's a problem. If you're dancing constantly, and when you would stop as a normal person, instead you spin and you parry into another person or another move. Here's the thing. All of this to say, he does really, really well when he's either able to lead the dance or his opponents lead the dance themselves and leave a small break in between moments to think about their next moves, right? A break in movement. When moving forward, Alex is an absolute titan in every single facet of the word in that cage. With power and precision, he makes the cage his own. His opponents come in with a traditional strike style, and he's able to basically work his timing to his advantage. He catches them clean with that left counter. So that's what I'm saying. If they're coming in dancing and they pause, well, now he's able to land that left hook. So if they're coming in 1, 2, 3, stop, he'll land that left hook. And even if they're up in guard, it hurts. It's going to break that guard and possibly their fucking jaw or orbital bone. Another thing that he really does well in Alex Pereira is he uses the leg kicks to set up a lot of the points of contact in his arsenal, right? He uses it to kind of set up a lot of the tools. Think of it as a carpenter, right? The house is already built. You got to hang all these things, but you need a stud finder. If the stud finder is broken, you might as well have nothing to do, right? Otherwise, you're just knocking on a wall and listening, hoping you find some good luck. The leg kick is the stud finder for him because he'll come in, he'll land that leg kick, and as soon as he lands that leg kick, he sees how you react to it. The second you start reacting to that leg kick, he's doing this already for the leg kick, so now you're going low. You're thinking to check. And as soon as you do that, instead of throwing the leg kick, he does the same motion and comes over the top with that nasty left hook, right? That's how he catches his opponents. Now, again, all of this kind of explaining what Alex does really well in fights to say this. Khalil comes from a traditional Thai style of fighting. He's actually lived in Thailand, trained at Tigers, Muay Thai, etc. for many years. I can see him being one of the more efficient leg checkers that Alexa's ever fought. I'm going to throw a question at you, a hypothetical at you here. Nano, let's say you go to a Muay Thai gym. You start training tomorrow. 6 months from now, somehow, some way, maybe you're drunk at a party and your homie convinces you to sign up for a smoker, right? You sign up for a little tournament, you get put in, and you have a game plan, right? Your game plan is to go in there and land a leg kick on the lead leg. As soon as that fight starts, take that weapon from him. Maybe you watched fucking Karate Kid 3 the week before you came up with that game plan. A man can't stand, a man can't fight. Either way, that's your move, right? And then now, hypothetically, let's say that opponent steps up to you, and the second the bell rings, he clips you with your move. He hits your lead leg and tucks your knee. What happens then? How do you adapt?
That's a tough one, right? Because you, or I guess I may not necessarily be expecting it. So outside of switching stances altogether, right? Because that probably did hurt. So I guess maybe naturally you're going to switch stances. Then you're going to think, this motherfucker, I'm going to try and get one back on him. Is probably what I'm going to try and do. But I don't know, brother. I mean, what's the right move here? You got to let me know.
So that's the thing. Like Mike Tyson said it best. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face, right? If your plan is to land leg kicks to open up and isolate openings for the up top movements, these left hooks and kind of uppercuts that you'll sneak in, what happens? And again, I don't even think that Khalil is going to come in there and land a huge leg kick so much as I think Alexa's going to throw one and it might get checked very poorly. I could possibly even see a Chris Weidman, Anderson Silva situation here, where a massive leg kick gets thrown, and it's a passing of the guard. Like, I broke you, literally. Khalil is a very, very strong individual, and I think that because he has losses to people like Johnny Walker and Dustin Jacoby, people look past him and they think, oh, well, he's lost to them, so he'll lose to this guy. Chris Weidman had lost to some sus people before he went out there and beat Anderson Silva twice. Rashad had lost to some people before he went out there and beat a prime or semi-prime Chuck Liddell. John Jones lost to that one guy via DQ, albeit. That's
still an L.
That's a joke, obviously. Still an L. Still counts. Still counts. People don't forget. But yeah, I mean, like people see that Dustin Jacoby loss and they see that Johnny Walker loss and they're like, well, as Tico Tech said here in the chat, if Johnny Walker can beat him, Alex shouldn't have much trouble. MMA math does not work. If you want the honest truth on that, go to MMAmath.com and put in the name of your favorite fighter versus the name of your least favorite fighter, and they'll tell you a way that your least favorite fighter beats him based on MMA math. Jacoby is the best striker he's fought, and Alex starched him in glory, Tico Tech LLC said. Yeah, I agree. That's fine. We were talking about a young man earlier in the card in, what was it, Almeida? Who has a win. Cesar Almeida has a win over Alex Pereira. Do you think he's light heavyweight or middleweight championship worthy in the UFC? Because I don't. I haven't seen enough. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he's ready right now or in the next 2 years. But he still has a win over Alex Pereira. So again, MMA math is a tough one to round out. Daryl Clark said Khalil has 3 options: go absolutely crazy and to land a big punch, try to be technical and go tick for tack with Alex, or utilize his wrestling. I don't think he'll utilize his wrestling. I think he can, but I don't think he will. He said it in the presser today. He wants to give people a prolifically exciting Muay Thai style striking match. That's what the fans want. That's what the fans deserve. And by golly, that's what he's going to give them. So I'm here for it. I think he's definitely going to go out there and do everything he can to do that. I think the secret technique that he's going to do is going to be like an Ong Bak elbow where he jumps in and fucking does the monkey cracks the coconut Thai style.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I think that'd be nasty in UFC. We've seen Adesanya try and land something like that, but it didn't. It looked more like just a forward elbow, right? He did that against, I think it was his first or second opponent in the UFC. But it's crazy that Adesanya of all people KO'd him, LOL. I agree, Tico Tech. I agree. And that's why I think that Khalil Roundtree Jr., who, if you ask me, Owen, could you do me a favor and just describe Khalil Roundtree Jr.'s fight style in one word? I would tell you violent. It's violent. Like, his fight style is violence. He is violence personified. He fights you as if you stole his little sister's bicycle and spit in his grandma's fucking tulips. Like, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, he fights you like he's very angry at you. He's not happy with who you are as an individual.
Not the tulips. Not grandma's tulips.
There are some people that fight you to win a fight. Yeah. I truly feel like Khalil Roundtree Jr. fights you with the hope that you never want to fight again in the octagon. Like, he wants to make you regret not just signing the paper to fight him. He wants to make you regret the last 20 fights that led you to this.
Yeah.
He wants you to be like, my mom told me to take that accounting course and I maybe should have done that.
What a great marketing manager. I love it.
So Daryl Clark says here, I hope we get at least 3 rounds of some good striking. Both men are very powerful, could end it at any moment. I think Alex will be kind of patient early on. Izzy rocked Alex in their first UFC fight also. He seems to always rock Alex with that big right overhand, even in their kickboxing matches. Now, I'll tell you why. The reason the overhand works, and it's more of an MMA thing than a Muay Thai thing, and the reason it works so well, pay attention to who it works on, folks. It works on Muay Thai guys. Because Muay Thai guys, like myself, will typically have a guard that's like here, right? So like if we're in thin gloves, we're here. If we're in the big like Thai gloves or like 10 to like 8 to 12 ounces, we're here. So if we're here, right, we're blocking a traditional hook. So if you throw a hook, it's coming around, it's hitting here, right? And if my hand is tucked against my head, for those visual viewers that are watching this versus just listening to audio only, as long as there's no gap between, if there's a gap between, you hit me, boom, I hit myself, it's concussive force, it doesn't feel good. But as long as I've been trained well, and my hand is tucked against my skin here with my glove, or even without my glove, I can eat that shot and kind of roll with it and take that damage, and it takes away a lot of your power, a lot of your sting or pop, so to speak. But when we're talking about this overhand right, it's not this. It's not a traditional style hook where it's a right hand or a left hand that's straight down the pipe. Now, one of my recent coaches actually described it very, very well to me at Victory MMA. Aaron Pete, shout out Aaron Pete, absolute beast. He runs the fight team for Victory MMA. Give that guy an air horn. Let's go, AP. So he basically describes this as the triangle, right? So if this is my triangle, and you can see it, right? You can see the triangle there. This is the flat line. If I throw a hook, it's going to bounce off of the bicep or the elbow or the shoulder blade. But if I throw that overhand, it's going over and around. And what ends up happening is if you're here, that overhand, you can see on the opposing side, it would essentially go right in this hole. And then it just clips in between. You go around the back side of that opening and connect to the back lining of the jaw tissue here. It's a soft tissue lining. And it does a lot of damage. And what do you hear more often than not, Nano? Whether you train or not, it's not the fastest or hardest shot that hurts you. It's which one?
The one you don't see coming, baby.
So if it's coming from here, oh, left hook's coming. Even if it's concussive damage, I see it. If you snap that overhand and it comes around the top, for a half look, dude, I blurred the camera. That's actually incredible. That was actually perfect. That was actually perfect.
Too fast.
So for that split second, you blur the camera, right? Like your fist goes behind the view of peripheral vision and you lose track and you're like, oh, it's going to connect. And then it's a delay and then you don't see it. And that's why it connects. And it also comes through the back end and just slices you up. So 100% Daryl Clark is right with what they're saying here. Izzy rocked Alex in the first UFC fight also. He seems to always rock Alex with that big right overhand. I think Khalil does it even better because he's a thick boy. He's going to throw it real strong. He's going to fucking just whop it around that corner. And I'll answer your question now, Tico Tech. Do I think Khalil has a 5-round gas tank? I don't. But I don't think he needs one. I think he gets it done inside of 3. Nano! Who do you got? And tell us why it's probably Alex Pineda.
It definitely is, my brother. It definitely is. Shama, come on. You know the vibes.
Shama.
I just think he's in this state right now where it's just, he's almost untouchable, my brother. He's almost untouchable. Obviously, everyone's human. Everyone bleeds red. Anything can happen. And Khalil Roundtree is definitely someone that is a live bet, right? It's someone that can go out there and do the impossible, right? He was someone that was doubted before, isn't supposed to be here, but yet here he is, right? And it's because he was able to dig deep. He was able to find a strong reason to push through, even though he wasn't given the best hand in life in terms of the cards and things he had to experience, even just where he was a few years ago. I mean, this guy was overweight, he was depressed, and now he's vegan. Now he's living a healthy lifestyle. He considers himself one of the best strikers in the UFC, definitely in the division, and I'd agree. He's someone that is must-watch TV, and it's going to be a really, really fun fight, my brother. It's going to be a really, really fun fight on Saturday because he's going up against the guy who is up there with John Jones and Islam as the pound for pound, just one of the guys right now. Obviously, what he did to Izzy, and since then moving up to this weight class, and he's a little bit more Alex Pereira, a little more used and familiar with these light heavyweights. I think Khalil, he's going to have his moments. I do think he could hurt Alex, and I'm trying to think if anyone that he's fought so far is a harder puncher, or to your point, maybe more opportunistic than a Khalil Roundtree. But this is probably going to be one of the tougher tests in terms. I mean, Jan Blachowicz was definitely someone, but he was wrestling him. He wasn't fully focused on, hey, come knock me out, I'm gonna knock you out. He didn't really play that game with them. I think Khalil Roundtree is obviously already saying, I'm willing to play tango, let's do it. But man, I mean, can Khalil weather the storm? I guess that's the other thing. As much as I'm thinking about Alex Pereira and, hey, you know, he's gonna have a bulldog in front of him, but is he gonna be able to weather that left hand thunder there and storm? It's a fun one, brother. I'm super excited for this fight. I think ultimately I'm just going with greatness here, and I can't bet against Alex Pereira. I simply can't do it. So until the wheels fall off, I'm writing that one.
Love it. Absolutely love it, man. So look, guys, these are Nano's picks.
Let's go.
He
got
did
the
a great
face
job
paint
on
on there.
Here. Did a
Come
great
on.
job. Love the potato one. Love the face paint there. The Superman span with the superhero thing is fucking amazing. So we'll post these up on the Twitters this week, guys. Make sure you like and comment on those. Let us know your picks. I'll post a blank one so that way you guys can post your own as well. Love the smile on the big mouth. That's a good look.
Hell yeah. Good to simple.
Honestly, good picks, man.
Thanks, man.
I'm surprised you went Pena.
It's hard, man. It's hard for me to do it, but there's something about her here. I just think she has a way to get it done, man. I'm worried about the ring rust. I'm worried about potential injuries, things like that, but at her best, I mean, she dethroned the greatest female fighter of all time in Amanda Nunes, and hey, she was going back and forth with Kayla Harrison. Maybe they're building up a little bit of a future matchup there as well. So I think she'll find a way to get it done, but I'm not happy about it.
Not happy about it. No, yeah. I mean, we definitely have some differing picks, right? I mean, both got Aldo, both got Harrison, both got Holland, both got Thompson. Split on Volteria and Almeida. Split on Rodriguez Lucendo. Split on Pennington Pena. And I'm not mad about it. So these are my picks here.
I love it. I love it.
We got Khalil Roundtree Jr., obviously. Going with that guy. I got to go with Pena. Or sorry, I got to go with Pennington over Pena. I can't do the press tour of Pena. So I'm hoping, really. And I also think that Pennington is just a better fighter overall. As you can see, Aldo versus Bautista, a bit of a weight class mismatch there. But we're going Aldo. We're going the old dog here to get it done. We love an old dog on this podcast. And Kayla Harrison. I mean, she said in an interview this week that her lookalike is Brock Lesnar. I couldn't do it. I thought about photoshopping that one in there, but I couldn't do it, folks. Delete coming in against the superhero himself, Kevin Holland, a.k.a. Batman. I think he's referred to himself as Black Man a couple times. I'm going with that guy. I can only hope that Delide shoplifts the night before the fight, because that will absolutely secure a victory for Kevin Holland. And as you can see here, Mr. Miyagi-Do himself, Stephen Thompson. I said Kevin Thompson. Jesus Christ. Kevin Holland, Stephen Thompson. The wires are getting crossed here, folks. Malfunction. Stephen Thompson, the Wonder Boy himself. Wonder Boy. I think he gets it done. Karate style, I think, is going to be a weird matchup for Buckley. Something he's never seen before. Yasmin Lucindo. Enough said. Let's fucking go, baby. Igor Poteria. I just think that he's a lanky, long fighter. I think he's going to give a lot of different looks to Almeida. I also think he has 5 times the fucking professional MMA career, and that's going to pay dividends for him. Hernandez coming in on short notice. Hubbard ain't the guy to do that against, so we're going Hubbard. You already know, baby. Superman Span, I mean, come on. Ovince St. Prue's got a couple of really, really good tools in the belt, but I don't think he's got Batman's utility belt, and that means that on that third compartment to the left, he don't got to rock a kryptonite for this fight, folks. Moving into the next one, you can already see who it is. We got the Cookie Monster. Cookie. I think she's going to get it done over Pennington here. Had to throw in the Cookie Monster graphic, because why the fuck not? And of course, last, but certainly not least, I threw the face on Court McGee because Hart wants McGee. But I mean, you heard me on the show. I've already changed my own mind. We're going Tim the Dirty Bird means. I'm going to have to upgrade the graphic, update the graphic, upgrade the graphic, whatever you want to say. Either way, I'm sounding like a drive turkey myself here, folks.
Chucking and jiving, baby.
You know the bets on Tim means. Come on, turkey boy. We're going Dirty Birds all day. We're going Dirty Birds all day here, folks. So that's it. That's the picks. Nano, I know you were cooking up a little bit of a parlay here. What were you thinking?
Man, well, definitely some bets. The parlay, I got to think about here. I do want to say that I potentially might put together a little small unit, big payout for these underdogs. I have quite a few, but some of the individual bets, because we got to play smart here, ladies and gents. You know, I get excited. I do these parlays. You get 2-3 legs in, and then it's always that third, fourth, fifth leg that bites you in the butt. And then when you don't make it that far, then you're like, why did I even do that in the first place? So probably going to stay clear of some of that. But I do like Carla as far as the money line here, plus odds. You're not going to like this one, so earmuffs. But Cesar Almeida by finish, potentially. I'm going to look at it, but that's one I liked when we were going through it. My boy Hubbard. Come on, Hubba Bubbard. Give me him at plus odds as well to go out there and beat Alexander Hernandez. Money line. I like Wonder Boy as well, brother. It's crazy. I mean, that one feels like a trap. That one does feel like a trap, so I may just not do that, like put that in at all. Maybe I'll do it parlayed, potentially, like some of these underdogs, like I mentioned. Kayla Harrison by finish. I think we talked about that not being too crazy. Kevin Holland. And then, man, I think I like my JA, little Jose Aldo here, brother, as well. At plus odds, I mean, there's a few of them. Maybe I'd put together like a Wonder Boy and Jose. Maybe I'll parlay those two. But can't get too crazy here, man, because feels like a trap. Those are the ones I'm rocking with, ladies and gents. Let me know what you think.
So when we started this episode, I'm just going to tell you, I literally made a joke that the odds were going to start shifting throughout the episode. I made that joke. Okay? Odds have already swung during the episode.
Gee wee wees. Let's see.
Austin Hubbard's down 6 points.
Oh, wow.
I think that's the one I literally said was going to start changing.
I think they listened to our show.
Brother, Vegas, earmuffs. So we're down from plus 136 to plus 130 here. I got the receipts, folks. I screenshotted it during the fucking picks. So yeah, it's literally down. It's down 6 points. I like Ihor Polteria. I'm gonna do a half unit on that one. I like Austin Hubbard. I'm gonna do a half unit on that one, even though it's down 0.6 or 6 points. Stephen Thompson, I like here. I think I'm gonna do like a fifth of a unit on Stephen Thompson, though. I don't feel like breaking the bank on him. Yasmin Lucindo, I'm going to stay away from. Kayla Harrison to win inside the distance. I'm going to put a half unit on. They get you a little over a full unit there. Kevin Holland to win inside the distance. I think I'm going to put a fifth of a unit on. And then I'm going to double down on Khalil Roundtree Jr. here, folks. Yeah, I think I'm going to double down on Khalil Roundtree Jr. I'm going to do... Let's see what the best way to hedge this is real quick. So, that's perfect. So, we're going to win this, folks. We're going to win either way. So if you do one unit on Khalil Roundtree Jr. money line, that's plus 360 odds. You get 4.6 units back. I'm going to do a half unit on that. If you do Khalil Roundtree Jr. to win and under 3.5 rounds, you get that for some extra juice. Talking plus 500 there. So one unit there gets you 6. Again, I'm going to do a half unit there. Okay? And now you hedge it with one full unit on Alex Pineda. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to hedge it. Let's see. That's perfect. We're going to do 2 units on Alex Pineda money line. That's a perfect hedge. Okay, so 2 units on... So you basically are covering the spread there with Alex Pineda. But I'm going to be honest. I'm not trying to curse myself. That's something that you guys can do. I'm not even going to hedge that bet. I'm just betting on Khalil, baby. Khalil, not Khalil. Khalil. It's going to be huge. I'm excited about this fight. I think Khalil gets it done, man.
I think it's
I'm a Khalil bit excited.
I was gonna say that's a Khalil crazy. That's a Khalil crazy, brother. But I like it.
I'm like a little bit crazy.
Come on, don't be crazy.
It's me. I'm crazy. With those bets, I'm going to do one last little good luck shot. And from my lips to God's ears, all these are going to hit. I'm also going to be cooking on underdogs. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at MMAnomaly. Make sure you follow Nano on Twitter at Jive Turkey Nano. And we will both get a lot better about posting kind of maybe not every single episode or every single fight card, but at least for these bigger pay-per-views, we'll definitely post our pick squares that you just saw pop up on the screen here so that we have those for reference, as well as just kind of our big bets and our little bets. Maybe our far-fetched bets. Our dog bets, folks. Either way, we appreciate you all for being here. Tico Tech, Daryl Clark, fucking Sav, the Bike Arena herself, and the new folks. S-Dogs MMA Talk. Make sure you check him out on Twitter at S-Dogs MMA Talk, and it's DAWG, not DOG, folks. Dog. And it's also his birthday recently. So make sure you give that guy a follow. Shout out to him. And shout out, more importantly, to nextmma.com, which is where we get a lot of our stats and facts from. We're actually sponsoring the fight card on their website this week. Make sure you check out their website, nextmma.com, as well as Mr. Nice Guy MMA on Twitter. The official handle to follow is Mr. Nice Guy's Dude at MRNICEGIWSDUDE. And he is a nice guy. He's a nice guy, dudes. So make sure you give that guy a follow. He's been shouting us out, so we gotta shout him out. And he also has a great fucking website with really cool stats. So cheers to that. Cheers to you. You could have been anywhere this Thursday night, and you chose to be right stinking here, and we really appreciate it, folks. So here's to you.
Salute.
Cheers.
Let's go.
Chama.
Dama.
Folks, as we like to say here, please, 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 whether you're new, old, somewhere in between, like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. And the last thing, but certainly the most important thing, keep on going and keep on growing, folks. We'll see you here same time, same place next week.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.